Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zwanndanana, and in this video I want to talk about 5 things that can hold you back in achieving your financial goals, or 5 things that can actually make your personal finance journey difficult, right? And the reason why I came to this topic is because last year when I was doing coaching sessions, I realized that a lot of people do not save or do not achieve their goals, not because they do not have money to do so, but because there are things that tend to sneak into their plans and everything else falls off. Okay, so I want you to be aware of those things so that you know how to handle them, and so that when they're happening to you, because sometimes they're subconscious, you are aware that they're happening and you do differently. Also, so that you can be more aware when they're happening around you and be able to speak to your friends about it, right? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, just make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment and share. Guys, also watch adverts. That's the only way in which I get paid, so please do watch adverts as well. Okay, so let's get into the topic of the day. So number one thing that actually can hinder you or that can slow down your process is trying to keep up with the Kardashians. This is also called or known as financial or lifestyle inflation. Sorry, it's also known as lifestyle inflation. So keeping up with the Kardashians, guys, is when a new iPhone is released, you want to have it, right? You want to have the latest trends. Also, it can also manifest in a situation where you always want to have things that your group of friends have, right? So these thing, it's a biggest hindrance in you not achieving your goals. Most of the time, the goals that we have are different, and because we want different things in life, and also we prioritize different things in life. But if you're always trying to keep up with the Kardashians, in every single thing that is released, you want to have it. You want to have AirPod, you want to have the latest Mac, you want to have the latest BMW. These can really hinder you to achieve what is actually a priority to you. So the way to deal with that is actually keep in mind when you see something nice that you like, because you're still gonna see them, right? When you see something that you like, that you want, you need to remind yourself of priorities. Like, what is a priority for me? And you will realize that some of the priorities that you have in your life is not actually a priority for the person you are envying, or whatever, because we have different financial situations happening in our lives. So really, it wouldn't help us to always catch up with the latest that is happening in life. It could be general trend that are posted on Instagram. I know the recent or the most common trend that is happening is going on vacation. Guys, it's okay to not go on vacation. Trust me, it's okay to just go to Limpopo if you're from Limpopo and rest and just embrace the shades and the trees and the mangoes. And if that's where you are in life financially, embrace it and actually focus. Take your attention to focusing on what it is that you want to achieve, and celebrate that. Be graceful and have gratitude towards the things which you are able to achieve, right? And like I said, this is not gonna stop trends from coming. It's not gonna stop us from desiring things when we see them, but it's mainly to always remind ourselves of what it is that we personally want. And to be honest, you wouldn't buy that iPhone because someone has it, when you know there's something that is more of a priority to you, that you're not prioritizing. Okay, so number 2 is Avantini. And this kills a lot of us. And the unfortunate part is that this one is on a larger scale in terms of value, right? Because this happens when you are at a point where really your finances are not happening, but yet you don't want to do something because you are afraid of what people may say. Someone posted a video, a very long video. In the video, the guy was talking about how people will forget you when you're done, like just a year into your death. people would have forgotten you. Only the few, and probably that's like your nuclear family, will will remember you. And to some, they would even forget and just remind themselves, right? So the point that he was trying to drive is that we care so much about what people think about us, and these are people who are not even gonna care for us when we are not there, right? So the voice that should matter is for those who care for us, who really care for us. So we should not care so much about what people will say, and these people really do not add value in our lives, to be honest. So if that car is too expensive, if that house is becoming so expensive, it's okay to downgrade sounds wrong, to downscale, if that's a word, to just lower some of the things which you can live without, right? Now interest rates are hiking, right? Interest rates are hiking. I think the prime lending rate at the point of recording is 10.5, and I just saw an article speaking about it will increase 2 times in the first half of the year, and there's a huge possibility that it will also increase 2 times in the second half of the year. If your car that you have is becoming too expensive for you to live, it's okay to give the bank their car back. It's really okay. It's okay, because we understand that we made a decision at a point where this was working. And if it doesn't work anymore, it's okay to sell the car. It's okay to downscale to a smaller house, right? Avantini guys won't pay our bills. Imagine every month you're trying to figure out a way to get money for installment, but yet you're keeping the car where else there's public transport that can transport you from one place to another. And in releasing yourself from that burden of not being able to pay, to be honest, you are in a better situation, except socially, because of course bazokhuluma, they will say something, right? It's just a matter of how do you handle it. If you know you're doing something for yourself to better yourself, it's really okay for you to actually be happy with that choice. Not always will people understand what you're doing, and you don't have to explain yourself all the time. The funniest thing is when people are saying something about you which is wrong, and the edge of correcting them is so strong, especially when it comes to finances, guys. The edge of correcting them is so strong. But guys, to be honest, here internally, when we're sitting by ourselves, what is it that makes us happy? What is it that we are happy with? And that is the thing which should drive us and drive the decision that we make. The people who care for us, the people who will tell us the truth, those are the people who should help us to make such decisions. So if really you want to downgrade, this is the green light to say go ahead and do so, and you're probably going to be in a better standing financially when you have downgraded than when you keep the car or the house, whatever it is. So another one that really, really, really kills a lot of the youth or young adults is actually not budgeting. I think people undermine the value of budgeting. To be honest, guys, really, budgeting is not necessarily on a personal scale. If you're planning to have a business at some point, you will need to budget, because in any business you have to understand how much profit you have, and in doing so you have to know what revenue do you generate and what are the expenses of this business, and therefore what is the profit, and what do we do as a business with that profit. These are the type of things that you need to teach yourself now as an individual before you can even get to the business level of things. The same level of discipline that is required when you're just an individual is the same thing that's required when you become a business. So young adults, to be honest, they just living, and it's really sad to see that a lot of young people with good jobs, they really like not leveraging the capacity of their income. I feel like at this point in time where we have been blessed with an opportunity to work, there is a lot that we can do, and not only in terms of like liabilities, guys. It's okay to have a car. I'm not talking about a car. I'm just talking about like crazy wardrobe with diesel jeans, devil takeies that cost 40,000, and you know for sure that you don't even have a property to your name. Like, our priorities are actually twisted, and that's simply because we don't sit down and actually sit with our money and say, what do I want this money to achieve? To be honest, when I look into my salary on an annual basis, of course, I'm like, you, damn it, I like this amount. If only I can get it on a monthly basis, but it's not possible. But then I start to think, how can I spend this money in a way that towards the end of the year I can be able to buy another house? Towards the end of the year, I can be able to pay off my car. Towards the end of the year, I can have enough to pay for my masters. Towards the end of the year, I can have enough to furnish my house, to change the tiles, So then I know I'm doing something which is fulfilling, right? And something which will not only fulfill me for once off, and it will fulfill me even when I'm sitting down by myself, right? Because a lot of times that Avantini, it also comes back with, trying to buy things which we know that we just want to get the attention of the people. And that speaks a lot about who we are as individuals and who we are, and how we're nurturing our characters, right? And this will lead us to the fourth point, which is emotional spending, right? Emotional spending is, when you're feeling some type of way. I know women would do that a lot. When you're feeling some type of way, you're like, oh, I'm craving an ice cream, or a shopping spree. I think it's called what? Retail therapy. And to be honest, it feels so good to go and spend money when you're not feeling well. It just uplifts you, man. You feel good in that moment. But when you come back, most of the time you realize that I actually have this dress, or I have a similar one, and you don't see what you could wear this top that you bought with, because it was just emotional. It was for a moment. And guess what? The problem you were running away from, when you get back to the house, you're probably gonna find it. I'm not saying that is not nice. I'm saying it doesn't even solve the problem that we're trying to run away from when we do retail therapy. So please be mindful. Do not overspend because of an emotional thing, which you, even when you come back, you will still have. At least, it's okay to go and get an ice cream, but while getting an ice cream, try to think, what are realistic ways that I can solve this problem? Because the one that I'm using, it's most likely going to get me into more problems. Okay? So last but not least, it's pressures. And I want to talk about pressures from family specifically, because Avantini is pressure from society. I'm talking about pressure from family because sometimes you are at home, and then because of you are a lawyer, you are an engineer, you are this and that, there is an expectation of you to issue out money. All right, issue out is a funny word, yeah, but to just give. Sometimes we want to keep up with that status because it feels good to be elevated and being the one, right? But that is the thing which actually makes us not to be able to achieve the things which we want to do, even for our families, right? If you just randomly in front of people, you're like, 1,000 to this cousin, so that people can say nice things about you. Most of the time, they don't even do something which is, tangible with that money. It's the same thing as giving your parents money, right? I think it's actually better, unless if it's for groceries, it's actually better for you to save 1,000 for 12 months and then give your parents 12,000. Because of that, they get to think about a bigger thing which they can do for the family with that money. Unlike just issuing them 1,000 every month. Trust me, there will be KFCs, there will be chicken lickens, there will be, you know what? Right? So if you're sending it for groceries, then good. But if you're just sending it so that you can empower them, it's always good to send them as a lump sum so that you can think as a collective on what can you do which is tangible. Do we want to change a gate? Do we want to change the fence? Do we want to remove the roof and replace it with another one? So then you get to do something tangible. So going back to the pressures, right? So sometimes we get to a point where financially as individuals, we are not able to cater for the needs of our families as we used to before. A lot of times people don't want to communicate because it will sound embarrassing, like, oh, now you're broke. Guys, those things are not easy, to be honest. I'm not laughing because it's a joke. I'm just laughing because I know how challenging it is. So then you start to just keep up and not say, and deep down you know you're hurting, right? Guys, families. I think that's one thing I love about my family. I know we can hurt each other, but more than anything, it's all love. And that's what makes us communicate effectively. Like, it's so easy for my younger sister to tell me that, Zwanda, no, I can't give you that 5,000 you wanted because I have other things that I wanted to do. Guess what? I'm hurt because I know she has it. But at the same time, I'm proud because I know that she knows what she wants, right? And then I get to deal with my own issues. So all the best, guys. I hope you are aware and you're gonna deal with this better so that you can achieve your financial goals. And I hope in 2023 we're gonna blue tick, we're gonna highlight green most of our financial goals, because we're going to be aware and be intentional about what we are doing with our money. Cheers.